Hello everyone, my name is Ashwin Goyal and I am here to present to you our work on the ankle robot. The objective of our work was to investigate the benefits of force feedback on an ankle robot for rehabilitation of foot drop after stroke. I will start with the background on the ankle robot and our motivation to work with force feedback. This will be followed by an introduction to force feedback and our experimental setup used to test our results with the force feedback. Finally, I will cover the results and conclusion of our experiments and the tasks that will proceed this work. Each year, as Neville Hogan mentioned, there are around 800,000 strokes in the US and 17 million globally. Half of the survivors are left with chronic mobility disability, typically including ankle weakness and foot drop, which permanently impairs walking function and increases the fall risk. To address this issue, a modular exoskeleton, AnkleBot, was developed and tested as a therapeutic device to facilitate ankle motor learning and to treat foot drop in stroke patients. The device uses simple impedance control strategy. The clinical trials have revealed that the ankle robot can be safely integrated with treadmill gait training to reverse foot drop, recover walking propulsion, and safer heel first landing, even years post stroke. As you can see from these graphs, using AnkleBot not only improves the gait speed but also improves the quality of the gait, which can be seen from decrease in the jerk and increase in cadence and paretic single support stance duration. Despite these benefits, there are several limitations which prevent the dissemination of this efficacious technology into the healthcare system and rehabilitation. Chief amongst these are its weight. The device itself weighs more than 7 pounds and the lack of portability. The robot is cable tethered to a bulky electrical computer panel, which limits its usage to research settings due to lack of operational autonomy for training overground gait and mobility activities that are an essential focus for physical therapy practices. Another limitation of using simple impedance control is that it has no effect on the mass and inertia of the robot. So, to tackle these issues, we chose to deploy simple impedance control coupled with force feedback on the ankle robot, which inherently reduces the apparent mass and friction of the hardware. This is the control loop for the simple impedance control with a force feedback. In this control loop, the ankle robot is being represented as a simple mass damper system. Using this control loop, we can derive the equation of motion as follows. If you can see in this equation, the mass and the damping coefficient of the hardware are reduced as the force gain, Kf, increases. This can also be seen from this diagram where the simple mass damper system has been converted to its physical system equivalent when coupled with the control strategy. It is to note that the stiffness and damping coefficients that are part of the simple impedance control are not affected or do not change with the change in the force gain values. This is important because these coefficients are used to determine the impedance of the end effector of the robot. So, the first step in deploying this control strategy was to make some hardware changes. The initial strategy that was there on the ankle robot did not require any force feedback. So there were no force sensors on the robot. These force sensors were added to the end of the actuator rods as shown to read the environmental forces, that is the forces exerted by the human. These load cells, once these load cells were completely integrated with the robot into the software, some other software changes need to be made to change the control strategy from a simple impedance control to a force feedback coupled with simple impedance. This control law was integrated into the system, which computes the actuator force that is required to attain a particular position objective given a particular force gain, which was further used to compute the motor torque that would be required to achieve that positional objective. Once the setup was complete, some experiments were conducted. Two 5-pound weights were connected to both the actuators or rather to the load cells. This was done so that both the actuators or both the load cells experience the same force. In other words, using two 5-pound weights instead of a single 10-pound weight made sure that there was uniform force distribution between the two actuators. Then the robot was, I'm sorry, the video is not running. So the robot was made to undergo dorsiflexion and plantarflexion motion simultaneously for around 20 gauge cycles. This was done to keep the data consistent. Then at the start of the experiment, we chose 4 random positional objectives that we need to achieve. And during each dorsiflexion motion, we recorded the torque generated by the motor to achieve those positional objectives for a particular force gain value. This experiment was repeated with various force gain values for the same positional objectives. Using the recorded data, a torque metric was generated which computed the percentage change in the torque that would be required to attain a particular position objective given a particular force gain as compared to the torque required to attain the same position objective with a zero force gain. That is when we are using a simple impedance control. Using this torque metric, we got the following graph. As you can see, as the force gain increases, the torque required to attain that same particular position objective decreases. Though the decrease in the torque required is different for a different position objective, the graph is always linear. This data can be used to determine a particular force gain that should be used to attain a particular position objective given a desired decrease in the torque. This is a very good positive influence of using a simple impedance control coupled with force feedback as compared to just using simple impedance control. But it does not show any physical effect on the hardware. So we use this torque metric and a motor torque constant to convert our data in terms of current, which was then used to compute battery capacity or battery usage time. As you can see in this graph, the battery usage time increases proportionally with the increase in the value of the force gain. So for instance, for a force gain of 25, there is a 25% increase in the battery usage time. Similarly, we can also see that the battery capacity that is required decreases with increase in the value of force gain, keeping the battery usage time constant. The battery capacity required is reflected by the mass of the battery pack itself. So keeping the current capacity of the cell constant, as the battery capacity reduces, the number of cells that are required to form a battery pack reduces, which in turn reduces the mass of the battery pack, as can be seen here. Note that all these computations were done on a basis of a data that was theoretically generated for running the ankle bot for one single therapy session using only simple impedance control. That was a basis for both the battery capacity and battery usage time. So we can conclude that using force feedback when augmenting an impedance control strategy in ankle rehabilitation robot reduces torque outputs to achieve desired positional objectives. Also, if you remember, I mentioned earlier that the chief limitations of the ankle bot is its weight, which is also handled by this control strategy. A lightweight device, including the peripherals such as battery packs, makes overground mobility therapy feasible, which increases the potential for clinical translation. Now, our work has shown that the actual mass of the device can be reduced using this control strategy. But how does it affect the patient performance? That has yet to be tested, which will be done through clinical testing of this strategy in a cohort of chronic stroke survivors. Also note that in theory, a system becomes unstable as soon as the value of force gain is greater than 1. But all the results that I have shown regarding the battery capacity or battery usage time are only significant for higher values of force gain. So we need to perform some tests to find the actual practical limit on the values of force gain. Our overarching goal when we started with this project was to develop a lookup table which a physical therapist can refer to decide which control strategy should be used to rehabilitate a patient suffering from different diseases. So let's say, for example, a stroke survivor has the better rehabilitation results when the control strategy being used is simple impedance control. However, when we are treating a patient suffering from cerebral palsy, a better results are obtained when using simple impedance control coupled with force feedback. Such a lookup table will actually result in better rehabilitation outputs. Also, the table can be further enhanced by including number of testing cycles or the gains that should be used at the start of a therapy period for different stages of the disease. Sorry. With this goal in mind, once the effects of simple impedance control with force feedback are tested and through clinical trials, we will proceed to testing natural admittance control, the benefits of natural admittance control for rehabilitation of stroke survivors, which would then be followed by using these control strategy for rehabilitation of patients suffering from other diseases. Hopefully, by the end of that research, we would have a lookup table which physical therapists can refer to for better rehabilitation results. Thank you.
I would also like to request the next speaker to go up to the podium and select the computer. I had a quick question to ask. Ashwin, I had a quick question to ask. Do you have any idea about the costs of the robot, the ankle bot, and with the system that you are building with the software?
The current cost, as I remember, is around $30,000. But with the lightweight device that will be produced and the one that we are working on currently, the cost should reduce. I don't know the exact cost that would come out to be.
Questions? Thank you then.